Donald Trump testified in his civil fraud trial in New York yesterday, having a complete and total meltdown on the stand, requiring Judge Engoron to direct Trump's attorneys to control him or he will control Trump. An insane scene, an insane scene. Here is video of Trump from CNN before taking the stand in court.
Back to our special live coverage. You're looking right now. This is inside the courtroom. Donald Trump sitting down with his attorneys as we're getting, just consider it kind of like a pool spray. We've seen this in other moments. The cameras are allowed in for a moment to kind of scene set each day in the courtroom. This is Donald Trump moments before he is set to take the stand and be under oath to take questioning from the judge.
All right, so you see Trump there looking, I don't even know how to describe it, to be totally honest. The testimony was completely and utterly insane. Rolling Stone reports, judge repeatedly asks lawyers to, quote, control Trump as testimony goes off the rails. The former president dodged questions and wouldn't stop ranting while on the witness stand. I don't think it's much of a surprise to anybody. Engoron said, I beseech you to control him if you can. If you can't, I will. I will excuse him and draw every negative inference that I can. The warning came after the judge repeatedly cautioned Trump against delivering political diatribes in lieu of answers. Quote, some of your answers have not been in response to the question, adding that prosecuting attorney Kevin Wallace has been, quote, very patient. After repeated attempts to get Trump's testimony back on track, Engoron told Trump's attorneys that this is not a political rally and suggested maybe they need to have a talk with him right now. We have reporting from Bloomberg as well. Trump testimony called a broken record by the judge. That is certainly an understatement. Bloomberg reporting on a number of different elements of this. Of course, we know that Trump has been attacking the judge, including calling him a disgrace. Trump finished his testimony at 3:25 p.m., and the judge called it a broken record, saying, I'm going to date myself, but I feel like this is a broken record. Trump stated that the banks and his accountants all seem to be happy. He called the judge hostile and repeated claims that it was a witch hunt as well as a disgrace. Salon reporting that Trump's testimony is, quote, verging on a confession. And legal experts said Trump, quote, admitted to more fraud in his complete and total word salad testimony. This does appear to be the case. Trump did admit that he would sometimes say we need to state different values for properties. Trump sort of mildly keeping up the guise that it was because he really believed the property values were different, but he is essentially admitting to the facts of what he is being accused of here. And then also Trump saying a whole bunch of insane things to the judge. This is a Politico report. It's a terrible thing you've done. You know nothing about me, Trump said to the judge during one verbal strike from the witness stand. You believe that political hack back there, he said, looking towards the Attorney General Tish James, who brought the case. This is an insane situation to have in court for any defendant and witness. It's a former president of the United States. So here's the major takeaway. If you think this is nuts, and this is completely and totally nuts, just imagine how Trump will be during his criminal trials, which could land him in jail for the rest of his life, in prison for the rest of his life. This is bad enough in terms of behavior. It's a civil trial. At the most, it will cost Trump money and the ability to run his business in New York, which is significant. I'm not going to understate that. But Trump's not going to end up with what is effectively a life sentence in prison based on this civil trial. And of course, the lawyers cannot control him here. Does anyone think they're going to be able to control him in his criminal trials? One other really funny moment during this thing, and then we're going to look at some other video now in a moment of Trump afterwards. Trump was asked about his involvement with his 2021 financial statements, which presumably were created in 2022, but okay, doesn't matter. And Trump tried to say he was busy being president at the time. He was busy with, dealing with China and Russia and keeping the country safe. to which he was reminded, you weren't president in 2021. You were 20 days until January 20th of 2021. Does Trump not remember when he was president? Is he lying? We will never really know. But here is Trump, after testifying, continuing to attack the case and everybody involved with it.
I think it went very well. I think you were there and you listened and you see what a scam this is. This is a case that should have never been brought. It's a case that should be dismissed immediately. The fraud was on behalf of the court. The court was the fraudster in this case. They made references to
The court has committed fraud, not Trump. It's the court that committed the fraud.
assets that were very valuable, and they said they had no idea. They had no idea what the numbers were when they said $18 million for Mar-a-Lago, and it's 50 to 100 times that amount by any estimation. It's a terrible thing that's happened here. We're taking days and days and weeks, and it goes on, and then you look at the outside world and what's happened. But of course,
Now, remember, Trump bemoaning that it's just going on and on. Today is really the only day, or yesterday was really the only day Trump had to be there. He chose to be there on other days. This didn't have to consume as much of his time as it has. It's by his choice.
getting the wish because I don't have to be here for the most part, but I sort of do have to be here because I want to be here because it's a scam. And this is a case that should have never been brought, and it's a case that now should be dismissed. Everybody saw what happened today. Everybody saw what happened with their star witness who admitted that. I never told him what he originally said. I did. He admitted that he lied, and he has absolutely no credibility whatsoever.
He admitted he lied at Trump's direction in order to further Trump's goals.
Their only witness. That's their only witness. And I think you saw what I had to say today, and it was very conclusive. Everything we did was absolutely right. To think that we're being sued and spending all this time and money, and yet people being killed all over the world, that this country could stop. With inflation and all of the other problems that this country has, I think it's a disgrace. And when you look at the numbers, the poll numbers that came out today from the New York Times and CBS, I'm sure the Times was not too happy. But people are sick and tired of what's happening. This is I think it's a very sad day for America. But anyway, this is a case that should have never been brought.
All right, so Trump truly like a broken record inside the courtroom and outside of the courtroom, playing his greatest hits, saying Mar-a-Lago is worth, what is it, $1 gazillion, 11 billion or something, who knows. That's none of that is a surprise. Let's now talk about the potential impacts of this testimony. I'm on camera every day, so I do what I can to control my out-of-control hair. Many of you have seen what it looks like without any product, and it's a very, very ugly situation, as you know. One of our sponsors today is Fix Your Lid. They make super quality hair products for men. They've got the gels, the pomades, the fibers, forming creams. Fix Your Lid has everything you need to keep your hair under control so you can look your best. Fix Your Lid is carried in a ton of barbershops across the country because it's a product that professionals trust. I've always had amazing results with the Fix Your Lid fiber product. When the company was founded, they had two guiding principles. The first is be 100% made in the USA. That includes not just manufacturing, but all of the ingredients as well. Second was to sell barbershop quality products at a reasonable price without animal cruelty. Since their founding, Fix Your Lid is proud to say they have never wavered in those principles, even when supply chains were at their worst. You will get 25% off when you go to fixyourlid.com and use the code PACMAN. The link is down below.